Okay, so for the next applications ang aton nga definite integrals, like last time we have already discussed how to find the areas, we can also find the volumes of several, well, figures using definite integrals. There are actually two methods, the disk method and the washer method. So we are going to start with the disk method. Okay, so this is the, kumbaga, definitions ng disk method nato, no? For example, simple lang gid nga line. So, straight line lang gid siya. And the straight line is crossing y at 5, positive 5. So, this line is actually y is equal to 5. Okay. So, we know with integrals, you are able to find the area under the curve up until, no, up until, kumbaga, from the curve pakadto sa aton nga x-axis lang. So, that lang siya aton nga boundary, no? Now, this time, what happens if ang aton nga line y is equal to 5, i-rotate naton. So, i-rotate siya naton pakadto sa dalom around your x-axis. And this time, you have a duplicate this dalom nga, oops, right? This is your y is equal to negative 5. Kaya duplicate siya, negative 5. Tiyog mo lang siya. This time, we are able to form a cylinder. Cylinder ni siya. I-rotate na siya. So, may curve man ta dire. So, may cylinder na kita. Ang volume sa ating cylinder. So, volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. And this is going to be the basis of our disk method nga expression. So, integrate ko nun naton ang pi, okay? And then r squared. So, base direho, ano ang ato na r? Ano ang radius sang circular nga base sang ato nga cylinder? It's 5, di ba? From the center of the circular base pakadto sa edge niya, it's 5. And as you can see, ang ina nga 5 is equal to your y. It's simply your function. So, dapat gani, ang isulat ko di is f of x para function. But, especially sa aton nga module, gin-specify na da nga r of x para radius na siya. It's the function and it's your radius. R of x squared. Then finally, ang h naton. So, ipakita naton kung ano ang tsura sang aton ng h. If we rotate this image, no, ang aton nga height is now along your x-axis. So, ano siya sa x-axis naton. And because of that, ang punta diri sa aton nga expression is simply d of x. So, silingon sini guys, ang aton nga radius dapat it's a function in terms of x. Kag dapat, ang ini siya nga, kumbaga, form is used if our function is rotating along the x-axis. Miss, what if rotate siya along the y-axis? We also have an example for that later on. But don't forget, integral of pi, then the function na given sa inyo, squared dx. You can also look for your limits. So, ang aton nga mga intersections later on. So, you also can have your a and b here for your lower and upper limit, lower and upper bounds, respectively. Okay, this is your disk method. Let's proceed to the example. So, this is our first example. Find the volume by rotating the area formed between y is equal to negative x squared plus 1 and the x-axis around the x-axis. So, ang himuon ta sini is, this is our curve. Y is equal to negative x squared plus 1. And this is our x-axis. So, aring ato ng x-axis. So, medyo galutaw lang ko ha, but you know what I mean. That's the x-axis. So, with that guys, ang ini ko nga curve, oops, wait, i-rotate ta ni siya. So, medyo makadto ta di o. May ma-form man di nga duplicate niya. So, the volume that we are looking for kind of looks like an onion nga sideways. Muna kon panglantaw. Ano ang aton nga form for the disk method? You have the integral of pi and then the function na given sa aton dx, no? So hapos lang squared pagali. Di pa kaon lang sa formula. What we need this time are your upper and lower bounds. Okay. So with that, butang tag si y equals negative x squared plus 1. Okay, ang aton nga intersections sa aton nga x-axis, ga-exist na siya kung ang y mo 0. No? Kung diin siya kumbaga, ga-intersect sa x-axis, wala kita sang value ni y. Kaya gatungtong gid siya specifically sa x-axis. So, y is equal to 0 at this point. So, 0 is equal to negative x squared plus 1. And then, transfer natin si negative x sa piyak, ma-positive siya. So, x squared equals 1. Now, x is plus and minus 1. These are the intersections of your curve. And those will be our lower and upper bounds. So, islan ko na ni siya subong. Miyara na ko sang from negative 1 to positive 1, pi. And then, ang r of x ko is, ang function, x squared plus 1 squared dx. Pangitaon ta na lang gid dayon ng iya nga definite integral. So, medyo hapos na siya, no? Okay. Proceed kita. So, ining negative x squared plus 1 squared, i-expand ko ni siya. Negative 1, 1, pi. So, either you use FOIL or, I don't know, any binomial methods that you want to use. Negative x squared, this is squared mo ni siya. Negative nyo as is lang na siya. Excuse me. Ay, hindi siya as is. So, negative x squared squared is going to be x raised to 4. And then you have negative 2x squared. And then si 1 max square siya. So, plus 1 dx. And with this, hapos na lang kita mag-integrate. Erase ko na. I need space. So, it's negative 1 to 1. Pi can be distributed. Pi x to the 4th minus 2 pi x squared plus pi dx. And then, this becomes pi x to the 5th over 5 minus 2 pi x cubed over 3 plus pi x from negative 1 to 1. And you know what to do. Upper minus lower. So, substitute lang kamo. That's pi. And then 1 is to 5 over 5 minus 2 pi times 1 cube over 3 plus pi times 1. Then, pagamayon pa ni, para may space kita. Okay. Minus. So, butangan ta sang bracket para kadumdum kita. Na ma-change kita karon sign. Negative 1 raised to 5 over 5 minus 2 pi times negative 1 raised to 3 over 3 plus pi times negative 1. So, wala na ako space, but you know what I mean. Using your calculator, you can go ahead and you will find that this is 2 pi over 5 minus 4 pi over 3 plus 2 pi. And kung i-simplify nyo further, this should give you 16 pi over 15. Since we are talking about volume, don't forget to put units cube. If miyari kita find the volume in meters cube or centimeters cube or inches cube, then use that. Since wala, units cube lang kita. Whoops. So, that's it. This is the volume. So, gamay nga summary. Again, given kamo sang inyo nga function. Ang kinanglan nyo na lang gid pangitaon kung diin siya ga-intersect. It will intersect the x-axis if your y is equal to 0. So, instead of y, isla nyo siya 0. Get the value of x. So, step 1, get the value of x. Okay? And then, step 2. Sa step 2 nyo, ang value nga nakuha nyo sa step 1, siya na ang inyong nga bounds. Negative 1 and 1. And then, get the definite integrals. Hindi ka malipat sa inyong nga units, you're done. Let's try, what if our function rotates along the y-axis? As you can see, our function is a bit different. This time, it's x equals. Usually, di ba, y equals kita? This time, it's x equals. So, hindi siya actually medyo ginpahapos sa aton. So that x equals na siya nga daan. So, no problem with that. Step 1, di ba, pangitaon ta ang upper and lower bounds, ang intersection. Because we know that this shape, this guy, and the y-axis, patiyugo na siya. So, mayroon naman kita sa curve diri nga ma-form. So, kabos na lang ako nga space, but you know, na ang ini siya nga curve, patiyogon, you get another onion-looking thing. Okay? Yeah, let's proceed. This time, instead of y equals 0, ang x ang imunta 0. So, copy ko lang din function, x equals negative y squared plus 4. X becomes 0. Equals negative y squared plus 4. Negative y squared transpose sa piyak becomes y squared equals 4. What are the values of y? Y equals plus minus, hindi na siya 4, kundi 2. So, we're done with step 1. Step 2, ibutan ta siya sa form sang disk method. So, negative 2 to 2 pi, okay, function squared d, instead of dx, may mo siya nga dy, because this time you are integrating in terms of y, y siya mo. Okay, so this one okay, and then like I said, expand this one, then go ahead and use FOIL. This should become negative 2 to 2 pi, y squared is y to the 4th, minus 8y squared plus 16 dy. Okay. And then, si pi pwede ma-distribute sa sulod. Madiretso ko integrate. This becomes pi y to the 5th over 5 minus 8 pi y cubed over 3 plus 16 pi y. From negative 2 to 2. Okay. Upper minus lower. So, pi times 2 raised to 5 over 5 minus 8 pi times 2 cube over 3 plus 16 pi times 2 minus, butangan bracket para hindi malipat sang sign, pi times negative 2 raised to 5 over 5 minus 8 pi times negative 2 cube over 3 plus 16 pi times negative 2. And go ahead, use your calculator. Hindi ko na pag-isa-isawan ng aton nga procedure because makaon na gina siya sa calcio. Check. You should get 512 over 15 pi. Don't forget, units cube. And then box your answers. Hala, ginagit. May pi. Okay, we're good. So, 512 over 15 pi units cube. This is the volume of this figure here. Pi, by the way, is not a variable. If you want, ang actually sining value is 512 over 15 times 3.1416. Okay? Pero para makita nyo lang si pi nag-exist sa Japan, naman na siya. Okay? So, yeah. Step 1 is just look for the intersection. Step 2, pakaon tanan sa form na ginatagta from the beginning. And that is our disk method.